Hello, let me present our presentation by Elena Munerman, Heather Sigmund, and Tony Weaver. We did a presentation on the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Next, please. Okay, here is our agenda. We're gonna do introduction to the family, family's developmental stage, analysis of family. We're gonna use Bowen family system, and then we're gonna do description of cultural concerns, discuss role of the therapist, provide treatment plan, and family counseling session will complete our presentation. Next, please. Okay, let me introduce a large Greek American family depicted in this film. Some members of this family are our clients, and they attend family mental health counseling with our family specialists. So this presentation will concentrate on their conflict. Next, please. The plot of this film concentrates on broad conflict of cultural differences. Interactions of the depicted in the film characters are defined by the differences in their cultural backgrounds, views on life, and the varying degrees of their acculturation. It is not uncommon for immigrant families to see major conflicts between the first generation parents and their children who are eager to assimilate into the dominant culture. So, in essence, the conflict between Tula and her father is that her father, Gus, wants Tula to marry a Greek guy and lead a traditional life as a wife and mother. Let me do a brief introduction to the characters. So Gus Portakalis is proud to be Greek, and he spreads Greek culture wherever he can. Maria Portakalis, Tula's mother, is a peacemaker, and she tries to keep balance in their family. And Tula wants to go, she's American born, and she wants to go to college and embark on a personal journey of self transformation. This process is difficult for Tula because she struggles between her loyalty to her family and her own dreams. To make things worse, Tula falls in love with an American guy, Ian Miller, and she knows that her father is not happy with this relationship. Next, please. So let's quickly refresh the 5 stages of the family development. Stage 1 is living home. Stage 2 is marriage and childbirth. Stage 3 is families with adolescents. Stage 4 is launching children and moving on, accepting exits from and entrances into the family system. And Portakalis family is in this stage. And stage 5 is accepting the shifting generational roles. Next, please. So let's now concentrate on stage 4, the stage in which Portakalis family is. So, and let's see how Portakalis family is dealing with this stage. During this stage, parents are used to the thought that their kids would be leaving soon and starting their own adult life. This stage is starting with kids becoming independent and ends with the retirement of the middle generation, the couple, the parents. And Greek culture favors big families where several generations share the same household. So Tula's multiple relatives live within walking distance from each other. Their kids grow up, get married, and still staying in the same city. So nothing is changing in this stage for Portakalis family. Also, in this stage, a couple moves on to adjust to the transition and concentrates on personal growth tasks that are different from parenting. More attention is paid and more adjustment adjustments are done in connection with the aging parents of the couple. Also, as kids leave, the couple that is used to um, combining their thoughts and actions on raising the kids might become estranged. And it is important for them to reevaluate their relationship. And this is also not happening for Portacala's family. For them, it's a little bit different because of the cultural differences. Um, their kids are grown, but they're still with them. And the Portacales are still taking care of family business, a Greek food restaurant. They throw and attend enormous family parties and getting together and hang out with multiple relatives of all ages. And finally, it is important that parents would be able to allow their kids to grow by encouragement, by showing trust and respect to their independent decisions, and by prizing their needs for differentiation and leaving home. At this point, the parents' emotional support is not as valuable as their is more valuable than their guidance for their kids. And this is not what is going on in Portacala's family. So we can see that dedication to Greek traditional culture is beneficial for Tula's parents, but detrimental and unfair to her. She sees an immense value in her family, but doesn't want to let go her not Greek enough thoughts of education and true love. Next, please.
So we chose a Bowen, the Bowen family systems theoretical approach with the Portacales family. Just a second, do y'all see me or? Mm-hmm. Okay, you do. Okay, sorry, I still see Elena. Okay, sorry. So we're taking the Bowen family systems theoretical approach because it allows us to look through a transgenerational lens in order to understand the issues at play here. We are focusing on the characters Gus, the father, Maria, the mother, and Tula, the daughter. And these will be the characters also in our role play. The Bowen family systems therapy focuses on the overarching polarities of togetherness and individuality. We need both, and we have to find a balance between them. So in terms of family systems, we would call this fused, that's the togetherness, and differentiated, and that's the individuality. The Portacales family is an example of a fused family system, and everyone's lives revolve around the emotional reactivity of the others, and their interactions are largely based on their reactions to each other. In Bowen theory, in Bowenian theory, anxiety is what causes people to become overly dependent or avoidant and emotionally reactive. So throughout the movie, Tula experiences a great deal of anxiety as she grapples with following her dreams while remaining loyal to her family. There are 5 interlocking concepts in this Bowenian analysis here. So we're going to be looking at the differentiation of self. This is our ability to control our emotional reactions and not respond automatically to emotional pressures, particularly anxiety. This is a goal for Tula, who gets caught up in the emotionality of her father and her mother. And up until her personal transformation, Tula was not even trying to differentiate herself from her family. She was complacent in her life, and this was making her depressed. So now she's developing her autonomy, but it's challenging given the cultural values of her Greek family. The next concept here is emotional triangles. The main triangle that we are focused on is the one you see here, the mother, the daughter, and the father. Triangles form when 2 people are having a problem and draw in a third party to help resolve it. So the Portacales family, the mother often steps in to mediate between the father and the daughter. She argues with the father on behalf of the daughter, which relieves the daughter from having to confront the father, but it also exacerbates the daughter's undifferentiated state. The next concept here is the multi-generational emotional processes. And here we are talking about the fusion of the Portacales family and what the parents' generation has impressed upon the children. It is important to consider their culture here and what is normal for Greek families. It is equally important to remember that just because something is culturally accepted, it can still have negative consequences to mental health. In our textbook, Nichols tells us that parents who anxiously intrude their concerns upon their children leave their kids with one of two options. They can either conform or they can rebel. So Tula has rebelled. Children caught in these emotional processes, they function as a reaction to others. So rather than learning to think for themselves, and so we see this aspect of change a lot for Tula during the movie. The fourth concept is emotional cutoff, and this is exactly what it sounds like. Someone makes themselves emotionally unavailable by putting space between them, whether it's physical space or emotional space. Tula does this in the movie when she keeps her boyfriend, Ian, a secret from her family. And that was her solution to manage her anxiety. And then the last concept here, societal emotional process. This concept is a really important point for the Portacallis family. Their cultural and ethnic traditions, we have to consider their cultural and ethnic traditions, and the counselor must be careful not to impose their own views or see things as dysfunctional that are really just different from their own beliefs. However, we have to keep in mind that the daughter is experiencing dysfunction and distress due to the constraining expectations on her as a Greek woman. So real quick here, we came up with a family genogram for the Portacallis family. And you can pause this video if you want to look a little bit more at it. I did highlight the triangle here between Tula and her parents, and the purple line that goes around shows who lives within this household. And it is common in Greek families that multiple generations live under one roof. So that's kind of interesting. And again, you can pause it if you want to look at it a little bit longer. So let's look at some cultural concerns. So the Portacallis family abides by Greek traditions, which include social expectations for men and women. The father has been the provider and the head of the household, and the mother is the caretaker and in charge of maintaining the home. These traditional roles do not inherently cause dysfunction, and it's important to respect their ethnic and cultural values. The parents and their generation were born and raised in Greece, and they immigrated to America to start their lives and families. Tula, the daughter, was born and raised in America, and while educated about her Greek heritage, she has a different level of acculturation than her parents, and she has struggled with her home culture versus the outside culture all her life. An important concept in Bowenian therapy is differentiation. This is complicated by the cultural expectations of the Portacallis family. One could say that differentiation is not as important to this family as, and is even seen kind of odd, especially for women. It's important to consider their cultural values and beliefs and address the challenges that Tula has in trying to exist in what may seem like two different worlds. Helping her to reconcile what could be considered conflicting values while also highlighting the similarities of the cultures could be helpful. The counselor does not have to be an expert on Greek culture. It's actually best for the counselor to inquire about things and allow the family to educate them. The counselor does have to approach the issues about leaving home, marriage, and especially marriage to a non-Greek partner with sensitivity and openness. It will be important and helpful to highlight the family's strengths, which include things like resilience, because immigrating is really hard. And they also have a lot of love. They're very loyal and supportive of each other and really of all family members.
So what is the role of the therapist? And so what we've found with Bowenian therapy, the role of the therapist is a little bit different from some of the other therapeutic approaches. In the Bowen therapeutic approach, the therapist doesn't get so much bogged down into some of the argument and contention within the family, but rather the therapist works to help the family to heal themselves. And so another part of that is also, the therapist is to remain as calm as possible and to show differentiation as well. And so those are just some key points that I wanted to provide before we get into the slide here. All right, so a couple of things that we noted here is that promote differentiation of self for the members of the family. We definitely see that with Tula, as well as with the father as well, with Gus, and then also getting to know and understanding each family member and their roles. And as a part of that would be developing a genogram and understanding the roles and things to that effect. He had a chance to take a look at our genogram that was provided earlier. The next thing is to remain neutral, calm, and also detriangulated. And so the therapist does not want to get, again, bogged down into some of the arguments, and definitely doesn't want to get emotionally charged, but want to help the family in being able to approach circumstances with less anxiety. And that goes into being able to be prepared to be able to de-escalate arguments so that you can move the family to the right direction. Another thing is to create a safe environment to discuss the nuclear family emotional process, as well as that family projection process and multi-generational transmission process as well. We realize that this particular family has very strong Greek roots and things to that effect. And we have here Tula, who wants to kind of move away from some of those traditions. And so we do realize that we'll be facing some of the nuclear family emotional process, multi-generational transmission process. So being able to help guide the family through that. Next, please. As a part of the treatment plan, one of the things that we saw that would be something immediately to implement into treatment is the detriangulation. In other words, getting father and daughter, Gus and Tula, to start talking more one-on-one versus having the mom to come in and kind of create that triangulation. One of the other things is asking process questions coupled with relationship experiment. One of the things that I wanted to go to our book here real quick and just read what it says about process questions. Process questions are designed to explore what's going on inside people and between them. And so it's important to ask those questions in that manner to kind of, again, get the family talking and reducing that anxiety as well. And so then a couple other things is within the treatment plan would be teaching skills to reduce anxiety. You'll see in our video where we use things like, stopping, taking a deep breath before talking about, thoughts and feelings and things to that effect. And then the last thing is to make sure that we're tracking and evaluating the progress as the family is going along into the treatment plan, so that the family maintains that adaptability in the event that there are circumstances that they'll deal with in the future. All right, so at this time, we'll go into our family session.
All right. So our counseling session is happening right after the characters, the mother and father, Maria and Gus, have met Ian, Tula's boyfriend. They've just met him. And so that's where we are in the movie. And this session is happening kind of right after that. Gus and Maria and Tula arrive together for the family session. Gus has recently found out that Tula is dating a non-Greek man, and he is still very upset. Maria is also upset, but is more sensitive to her daughter's dreams. Tula is feeling guilty for lying, but also frustrated that her father will not approve of her partner. They have come to counseling to work out their issues with each other. Okay. Here we go. All right. So first of all, I want to say that you have all taken a big step in coming today to talk with each other about the issues that are challenging you right now. There are some sensitive topics here, and I can see that your family means a lot to all of you.
Greek families are strong families. Tula, you should be proud to be Greek.
Please, two of you.
Okay, it's clear that there are a lot of feelings and reactions between the three of you. Just then, I saw a very strong reaction from you, Tula, about what your father said about Greek families. I would like to learn a little bit more from each of you about what you think being Greek means. So Gus, would you like to speak first?
Being Greek is better than being anything else. My people created democracy, astronomy, architecture. Tell me a word, any word, and I will show you how the root of that word is Greek.
It sounds like you are immensely proud of your history and heritage, and that you think it's important to pass down that to your children.
What is there not to be proud of? I am Greek. I think it's important that our culture be preserved. I want Tula to marry a Greek man and have Greek babies. That is what she's supposed to do. Her sister, Athena, she did this and she's happy and has 3 strong Greek boys. Tula needs to marry. She needs to marry a Greek man. She's starting to look so old. I can't understand why she does this to me. She brings home Ian Miller. He's not even Greek. There are many Greek men here for her. We try to help her find them. We've brought them to dinner and she will not talk to them. I don't understand why she does this to me.
I'm not doing anything to you, Dad. I love Ian. You didn't even give him a chance.
Okay. I can see that this subject brings up a lot of strong emotions. Sometimes these strong emotional reactions that we have to each other can make it difficult to find productive solutions. Going forward, if something is said that makes you want to immediately respond, try pausing for a moment to take a breath and think about why you are feeling so strongly. Then tell us what you think you had the reaction. Tell us why you think you had the reaction that you did. So Tula, would you like to try this now?
Okay. I think that my dad's comments are unfair. I don't like being compared to my sister. I'm not trying to hurt him or my family. I can't help that I love Ian and being with him makes me happy. I wish they could just understand and give him a chance.
Wonderfully said, Tula. Thank you for sharing those thoughts. How did that feel versus a few moments ago when you felt that intense emotion?
I feel calmer. I can think and I can better say what I want to say.
Good. Okay. So I still want to hear from each of you about what being Greek means to you. Gus, I understand that you want to preserve your Greek heritage and have Tula follow the customs. It sounds like you want her to have a good life, and you believe that following Greek traditions will provide that.
I want her to be proud of her Greek heritage. I don't want her to forget where she's come from.
Okay. Thank you, Gus, for sharing your thoughts. Maria, I would like to understand your thoughts about Greek culture.
Well, of course I am Greek and proud to be. I come from a small village and I saw many terrible wars, and so we came to America. I think my people are strong. We have survived so much and I am happy to be alive and be in this country. I am thankful. I'm thankful that my children grew up here. And I want my children to know where they come from, but to also live their lives here. We live in America, not Greece. I I also would like Tula to marry a Greek man to stay more connected to our culture, but I also want her to be happy.
Okay, it sounds like you came to America to have different opportunities and to afford your children those opportunities too.
Yes, we came here for them. I want them to live their lives. It would have been great if Tula would have met a nice Greek man, but she met Ian. They're in love. What can we do?
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Maria. I can see that you are proud of your culture and also accommodating to the culture you currently live in here in America. I'm also hearing that both of you, Gus and Maria, you both love Tula very much and you want what you think is best for her.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we love our family, and Tula, we love you.
So Tula, I also want to understand more about your thoughts about Greek culture.
Well, when I was little, I was not proud to be Greek. Being Greek meant being different, and I didn't want to be different. I felt like an outsider and awkward. It wasn't easy for me in school. I guess I just wanted to disappear sometimes. My family is loud, and everyone knows everything about you. I know that everyone expects me to get married and have children, but that doesn't make me happy. I guess lately I've been doing more things that I want to do instead of what other people expect, and I feel alive.
Wow, it sounds like you've been doing some soul searching and you have come to realize some things about yourself. Tell me a little more about what has made you feel alive.
Well, I started taking some college classes. I learned a lot about computers, and I was able to help my aunt Vola with her travel agency. I think I made a lot of improvements there, and that makes me feel proud. It feels good to make a difference.
I see. So learning a new skill and using that to help your family's business was very fulfilling for you.
Yes, it helped me to pull out of a dark place. I didn't know who I was, and now I feel more confident. I think that confidence is what Ian saw when we first met. I just finally feel like myself.
Wow, that's very powerful. Tula, Gus, that's very powerful, Tula. Gus, I'm wondering what you think about Tula feeling confident and accomplished with the work that she has done at the travel agency.
Well, it was my idea to send Tula to the travel agency. I know she's smart. It's good that she's using her schooling to help the family, but I think that she would be helping our family more if she would get married and have babies.
So, in what ways do you think it would help your family more if Tula got married and had children?
Well, that's what the women have always done. Look at my mother, Maria Athena. Women need to take care of the home. That's our tradition.
I see. So, culturally, women have been responsible for the home and children, while men have been the providers. Maria, is this also how you see Greek culture?
Yeah, I think Greek women are very strong. I have done so much for my family. I had 3 children, raised them, fed them, cleaned the house, and I cook in the restaurant to feed others. I take care of my family because they're the most important thing to me.
I'm hearing that in addition to raising your children, you have also worked in the family business to help support your family. You have a lot of loyalty to your family, which also sounds like what Tula has done by using her education to help the family. I have also looked at your family's genogram, and I see that your sister, Vula, owns the travel agency and also raised 2 children. It seems that most of the women have worked and, in addition to that, have raised the children. So, Gus, I'm wondering what your thoughts are about that.
Yes, I know Maria helped at the restaurant. I know Hula has the travel agency. I suppose Tula is also using her education to help the family. I never really thought about all the other things they did besides raising the children. I just want Tula to be proud of being Greek.
Hmm. Tula, I know you said that you used to not be proud and wanted to disappear. And I'm wondering why you put that in the past tense. Have these thoughts changed for you?
Yes, I'm proud to be Greek. I see the strength, the sense of duty and loyalty for my mother and father. They have done so much for me. I want to help my family, but I also want to be happy. Why can't I do both? I do not understand what is wrong with dating Ian.
I can understand how this has been really difficult for you, Tula. I see that you feel torn inside between wanting to please your parents, but also wanting to live your life. Gus, Tula is saying that she's proud to be Greek. She wants to help the family and be happy. It sounds like this is what you also want for her.
Yes, yes, I just wish she had picked a Greek man. I don't know Ian or his family.
Hmm. Well, Tula, tell me more about Ian.
Well, Ian is great. He has been so understanding of my situation with my family. He is truly interested in our culture and eager to learn more. He is already learning Greek. He is trying really hard. He also loves me very much. His family is basically the opposite of ours. So I think he finds it really interesting.
He sounds very open and more than willing to learn. Maria, you have met Ian. What do you think about him wanting to learn about your culture?
Yeah, he's not a bad guy. He's very respectful, and I think he comes from a good family. I like hearing that he loves Tula so much and wants to learn more about our family. He has been very open to our culture, and I think it's very important.
Hmm. Gus, how does Ian learning Greek show you that he is truly interested in your culture?
Well, I mean, everyone should learn Greek. But yes, it shows me that he's willing to learn and that he's willing to put in the work. The Greek language is very advanced.
Well, I appreciate everyone being so open and respectful of each other so far during this session. You have all done a wonderful job of listening to each other, explain their thoughts on these issues. Maria and Gus, you have both acknowledged that Ian is very interested in your culture and learning about your traditions. You've also said that you both want Tula to be happy. Tula has said that she is happy with Ian and that the changes she has made in her life have made her feel more confident as a person. We have talked about how the women in your family have been supportive in many ways and that all three of you are proud of your Greek culture. I would like to talk more now about a treatment plan so that the family can manage the emotional reactions when sensitive issues come up at home. Would that be all right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what I would like to do is to implement a counseling approach known as the Bowen Family Systems Therapy over the next few sessions. This particular therapy will be helpful so that the communication within the family can take place without being so emotionally charged. Gus, we'll get to explore some ways that you can be flexible and have less anxiety when communicating with Tula. And Tula, we want to work on lessening any reactions that make you feel as if you have to be either submissive or defiant. Gus and Tula, how does that sound?
Okay. I'm willing
Yes.
to give it a try.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. And Maria, I think as we work over the next few sessions, let's see how well Gus and Tula are able to communicate as father and daughter. What are your thoughts on letting Gus and Tula work out their own relationship as a goal until next session?
Well, what would I do if they fight? I hate when they fight.
Mm. Well, I think you can have a little faith that Gus and Tula will do their homework. I think that by removing yourself from their conflict, you will be helping them to learn how to better communicate with each other. If they do fight, maybe you can remind them to take a breath and suggest a small break. That's not the same thing as fighting for them. Does that make sense?
Yes, this may be a little easier than
Yeah.
said than done.
Yeah. Well, you see, sometimes two people in a family may have a hard time communicating with each other. So they bring in a third person. So like Gus and Tula here, they bring you into it. And sometimes the third person is used to confide in. Sometimes they are used to relay messages, and sometimes they're used as the mediary. In therapy, we call this communicative construct triangulation because of the three of you. I think that we should start out by strengthening the line of communication between Gus and Tula.
Okay, I understand now. I'm open to trying this for a week to see where it goes.
Great. Okay, so we have a goal for next week, and I look forward to hearing about your experiences with each other. Is there anything else that we would like to discuss before we conclude this session?
Yes, only have one question. Do you really think that this counseling can help us?
Oh, keep an open mind, Gus.
No, it's okay. That's a really great question. There are several stages of a family's life cycle. And this means that in each stage, there are changes and challenges that come with the stages. So we will get into a little more of this throughout our therapy. But I'd like to tell you where I believe you are right now. Your family as a whole is in the stage identified as launching children and moving on. Some of the challenges we can expect are a renegotiation of the marital system between you, Gus, and Maria, We can also expect development of the adult to adult relationship between Gus, you, and Tula. So understand that your family.
The situation is not as bad as it seems.
Right. Yes. Changes are common among family systems, and the aim is to make certain that we are able to adapt without reacting in a way that would cause emotional cutoffs among family members.
That's right, counselor. Greek families are strong and can handle anything.
Good, good. Well, sorry. Oh, yeah.
Well, we look forward to the next week, and thank you for the session. It was
Yes. Thank you for
pleasure.
your time.
Good. Okay, we'll see you all next week then.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for listening in. We greatly appreciate it. We enjoyed this project definitely, and we look forward to hearing your comments. Thank you.